The streets didn't breathe warmth anymore. The air was heavy with the stench of rotten food, burning rubber, and things too painful to name. It was evening, but the sky looked bruised, grey clouds sagging low like they could collapse on the city at any second. On the edge of an overflowing garbage heap beside a cracked drainage gutter, a woman sat motionless. Her body curled into itself like it was trying to disappear. Her skin was the kind of dark once admired under good lighting, but now it looked pale, dull, and broken. Her hair, once styled with pride, was a tangled crown of shame. Her name was Amara. But no one said that anymore. To the passers-by, she was that mad pregnant woman. To the fruit sellers, she was the cursed beggar. To the street kids, she was the trash woman. And to the man who once promised to love her, she had no name at all. She shifted slightly, her back leaning on the wall behind her, and winced. A low whimper escaped her lips. Her left cheek was swollen from a slap that felt like it shattered her soul. Her ankles were bruised, her belly hard, her mind drowning. It had been 2 days since she last ate. The world had moved on without her. And still, no one saw her. Until now. "Do you know what you are?" Chuka asked, standing over her, shirtless, flexing his jaw like a man tired of holding back his rage. "You're a curse. You're a slow, fat, useless burden." Amara sat silently on the sofa, her arms wrapped protectively around her belly. She was 5 months pregnant, and she still hadn't told anyone, not even her family, that Chuka had turned into a stranger. He wasn't always like this. Once, he'd waited 3 hours in the rain just to walk her home. Once, he wrote her love letters with actual ink on scented paper. Once, he knelt in front of her parents and promised them their daughter would always smile. Once. But now, he barely looked at her. His love had turned into something else. A poison that wore a silk robe, ate grilled steak, and scrolled through Instagram while she cried in the bathroom. "You think this baby will tie me to you?" He laughed coldly. "I'm not your prisoner. I don't do pity marriages." "Chuka, please," she whispered. "You used to." "Used to," he shouted, and flung his phone across the room. It crashed into the wall. She jumped. She wasn't surprised anymore. Not when he stopped sleeping at home. Not when he said her prayers irritated him. Not even when he told her, "Maybe you're just not the kind of woman I thought I married." But what happened next? Even her nightmares didn't reach that deep. It was raining. Not a storm, just the kind of rain that stung without mercy. She stood outside the house, trembling, holding a small nylon bag with her pregnancy card and a worn-out photo of her mother. The door was locked. She had only stepped out for an antenatal visit. But her key didn't work. She knocked again. No answer. Then she heard the gate open behind her. Chuka, wearing slippers and a faded t-shirt that said, "Work hard, play dirty." He didn't say a word. He didn't ask her how the baby was doing. He didn't even meet her eyes. Instead, he grabbed her nylon bag, flung it across the yard, then grabbed her arm hard. Too hard. "Chuka, please. What are you doing? You're leaving. In this rain. Please, my shoes. I'm barefoot." I said get out. He dragged her across the slippery tiles, down the stairs, out of the gate. Her foot hit a rusted nail near the garden. She screamed. But no one opened their windows. No one called out. No one helped. He dragged her to the street. Right in front of the big dumpster at the corner. And like something out of a mad film, he shoved her into it. Not beside it. In it. Banana peels. Broken beer bottles. Moldy bread. Dirty pampers. She sat there in the trash. Shaking. Bleeding from her leg. Clutching her stomach. Crying like a child, thumbs up fire. Chuka dusted his hands like he had just taken out the garbage. Then he walked away. No backward glance. Not even a goodbye. Now. That was 4 weeks ago. Since then, Amora had slept under a bridge, begged in silence, and tried not to miscarry every time her body shook from cold or hunger. Every time she saw a man in a black shirt, she flinched. Every time a car honked near her, she feared someone might yell, "Witch." People no longer saw a woman. They saw trash that moved. And she almost started believing them. A silver Range Rover slowed down just across the street. It was spotless, engine humming like money. The tinted window rolled down slightly. Inside sat a man with tired eyes. Kenechukwu Okofo. He wasn't looking for anyone. He had just left a silent meeting with foreign doctors about his daughter's spine. They told him not to hope too much. Not to expect a miracle. He hadn't expected to see one either. Until he saw her. The woman in the trash. Slumped, pregnant, bleeding, alive. Something twisted in his chest. "Pull over," he said to his driver. "Sir, this neighborhood is..." I said pull over. Now. The driver obeyed. King stepped out, ignoring the stares from pedestrians. His Rolex glinted under the cloudy sky. His shoes splashed into the muddy road as he walked toward her. Amora didn't move. She saw a man walking toward her. She thought maybe he was here to mock her, take pictures. She tried to look away. But then, he knelt down. Right beside her. Not in front. Not above. Beside. He didn't speak at first. Then he whispered, "Can I help you?" She blinked. Her lips trembled. No one had asked her that in months. "I'm not a beggar," she mumbled, voice hoarse. "I know. I didn't mean to sleep here. I know." Silence. He saw her belly. Then her wrist. Then her swollen ankle. "Let me take you to the hospital." She shook her head weakly. "I can't pay." "You don't have to." Her eyes closed. And this time, she didn't fight it. She passed out. 3 hours later. She woke to white lights. Clean bed sheets. A fan spinning slowly above her. A nurse came in. "Oh, she's awake. Don't move too fast. Doctor will check your scan soon." "My baby," she gasped. "Safe," the nurse said, smiling. "You fainted from exhaustion." She closed her eyes. Let a tear escape. Then she remembered him. The man in the car. The one who knelt beside her like she wasn't filth. A few minutes later, he entered. No bodyguards. No loud phone. Just him. He smiled gently. "I'm keen." She swallowed hard. "Why are you helping me?" He took a long breath. Then said, "Because, when my wife died in that fire, no one helped her either." She screamed and screamed, but they were too afraid. Too busy. Too numb. He looked at her. "And you, reminded me what it looks like when someone's still alive but already abandoned." She didn't know what to say. So she cried. For the first time, really cried. Not silent tears. But sobs. Broken, shaking sobs that soaked her hospital gown. He sat by the chair and didn't stop her. He waited. Until she slept again. The gates opened quietly. She sat in the back seat, now wearing fresh clothes, simple but clean. Her leg was bandaged. Her face had color again. She looked at the compound ahead, white walls, palm trees, security lights. She didn't speak. King turned to her gently. "This is just for recovery. You're not a prisoner." She nodded slowly. He helped her out. A female staff greeted them. They walked in. Warm air. Fresh flowers. A golden staircase. She paused. Everything in her body screamed, "Don't trust this. Run. Hide. You'll be thrown out again." But he touched her shoulder lightly. "You're not trash," he said. "I don't know who made you believe that, but they lied." Her lips parted. But no words came. Only tears. Again. From an upstairs window, a little girl watched them. About 10 years old. In a wheelchair. Pale, silent. That was Zora, Keen's daughter. She would soon become the bridge between Amora's brokenness and her rebirth. But for now, Amora only saw a stranger's kindness. And for the first time in weeks, she didn't want to die. The morning sun poured gently into the guest room like gold dust. The curtains moved slightly with the breeze, and for the first time in weeks, Amora didn't wake up in fear. She didn't wake up to insults, to footsteps rushing toward her, or to rats nibbling at her ankles. She woke up to silence. Safe silence. The scent of soap lingered on her body, her skin now wrapped in a soft cotton gown. She lay on a bed so large her entire body didn't even touch the edges. A pillow cradled her head. Her body didn't ache from concrete or hunger. But her mind. Still broken. Still watching every move. Still whispering that this wasn't real. The mansion felt like a movie. The walls were white and filled with quiet art, paintings of oceans and flowers. The staircase curved like a ribbon. The staircase curved like a ribbon. Staff moved around silently, never looking at her with judgment. But Amora couldn't relax. Every small noise made her heart race. Every laugh from a distance made her stomach clench. Her eyes followed everyone with suspicion. Because deep down, trauma still whispered, "Don't trust kindness. It always expires." She was sitting in the garden later that week, sunlight on her face, holding a warm cup of tea. That's when she heard the soft wheels of a wheelchair approaching. She looked up. A small girl with large eyes, braided hair, and an expression that was far too quiet for her age. The girl said nothing. Just stared. Then she rolled herself forward slowly and said, "You don't look like a maid." Amora blinked. "I'm not." "Oh," the girl replied, then pointed at her stomach. "Is your baby okay?" Tears filled Amora's eyes instantly. She nodded. "Yes, we are both okay now." The girl nodded. "That's good. I'm Zara." "Amora." They shook hands, gently. And that was the start of something neither of them could name yet. Amora didn't transform overnight. She still cried when she saw black bags being carried out by cleaners. She still flinched when people raised their voices in the hallway. She still ate slowly, like someone might slap the spoon out of her hand. But little by little, Keen left her books to read. Zora invited her to sit near the piano. The housekeeper offered her tips on stretching her swollen ankles. And one day, Amora looked at herself in the mirror and didn't look away. It was a rainy evening. The garden smelled like wet earth. Zora had gone to bed. Amora was sitting under the shade, watching the droplets race down the window pane. Keen approached, wearing his usual quiet aura. "I've never seen someone as broken as you," he said, not unkindly. Amora looked up slowly. "That's a strange compliment." "It's not a compliment. It's truth." "But you're still standing." "I don't feel like I am." He pulled out a chair. "You know, people think strength is loud. I don't. Sometimes, it's just surviving one more morning." She swallowed hard. Then asked, "Why are you still helping me?" He didn't answer right away. Then he said, "Because I need to believe that kindness can still change something." That night, she wrote her name on a piece of paper and pinned it to her pillow. Amora. One who is graceful even when crushed. 2 weeks later, Chuka saw her. He was driving past the luxury cafe and spotted her stepping out of Keen's car, now wearing a light green gown, hair neatly tied, her skin glowing again. He nearly crashed his car. He followed them. Waited. Observed. Then, one day, he showed up at Keen's gate, raging, desperate. The security man announced, "Sir, there's a man here claiming to be her husband." Amora stood at the top of the staircase and froze. She walked down slowly. There he was. Same old sneer. Same wicked eyes. Amora, he said. Come home. Enough of this drama. You embarrassed me. Kin was behind her, silent. She stepped forward, took a deep breath, and said, I would rather die than be your wife again. You think this rich man loves you? You think he sees you as anything but a charity case? She smiled softly. I don't need him to love me. I just needed him to remind me I was human. Chuka spat on the floor. Trash. She stepped closer. No, she whispered. You're the one who threw away a diamond because you couldn't see past your own dirt. And then she turned her back on him, forever. A few days after that confrontation, Kin handed her a sealed envelope. What's this? She asked. A house deed. And a business registration form, in your name. She stared at him. I didn't ask for anything. I know. That's why you deserve it. Tears streamed down her cheeks again. What about Zara? He smiled. She already asked if you could stay. I told her it was up to you. Amora didn't speak. She only hugged him. And he hugged her back, not like a man claiming her, but like a man releasing her into herself. A small cozy bakery with green walls and gold signage read, Grace and Crumbs, home of healing sweets. Inside, customers laughed, music played softly, and the smell of fresh bread filled the air. Behind the counter stood Amara, smiling, healthy, radiant. Zora wheeled in carrying a tray of cookies. A customer asked if the owner is around. Amara laughed. Tell them the owner is busy living. And outside, under the sun, Kim watched from his car, a soft smile on his face, before driving off.